as I was saying, I think one of the things we have to do on this English language guided journey with Thai people, with Pari, is well, I think we should begin by you sharing what you talked about before I started the recording. Some experiences you wanted to share that could be made public that will be helpful. Maybe you could start to share those if you don't mind, V. Go ahead.
Okay. There are 2 points. First one, last Monday that just passed, in my dream, I saw the dream just for a short time, and after then I saw that dream is like a rewind, repeat it again. But the second time that I saw that dream, I was floating around in many angles,
That's
for that
interesting. Yeah.
that I just dream it. So
Now, you know what that means, right? You can tell. Okay, what you've been trying to do is open one eye in the morning so you can bring that experience back to Earth. But you're already doing that. Even if you don't open one eye at a time, if you can bring it back to Earth, that's the purpose for that exercise, is to build the bridge so you can bring information back to your life on Earth. And you've done that. You've just done it.
but I just
So you went,
don't
but
remember.
you reviewed it once, you reviewed it again, and your consciousness was more awake. So you're seeing more of it the second time, bringing it back here. And now
But the second
you
thing
realize
is in
now. Wait
dream.
a minute. Now you realize
Oh, sorry.
you can do that. The Atma is doing it. You are doing it. That's the same for Quan or Perry or me.
Mhm.
You just have to be
But
conscious enough to understand what's happening.
the second time I saw the dream that I just dreamed is still in the dream as well. I haven't waken up yet.
Right?
Was floating.
But here's the thing, you need to listen. You
Okay.
brought both experiences back to your life on Earth, didn't you?
But
Yes.
it's still in the dream.
But
I haven't opened the eye.
you're not getting this. You got to listen. You brought both experiences back to the V consciousness on Earth. That's why you can remember it here.
Oh yes.
You see that?
Oh, okay.
That's what these exercises you've been doing are designed to help you do. Even if you don't open only one eye, if you still bring back the memory, who cares? You've still done it. So that means the Atma's enlightening you here on Earth. Make sense?
I think what he wants to share you is in his dream, he dreams that he see his dream in his dream, I don't know if you get it.
Okay, so who's doing the dreaming? Both of them. Who's dreaming both?
Myself.
Yes.
The first one I saw as like some of my 5 bodies, and then after that finished, I saw the same thing second time as an Atma floating around that event. Yes.
Now you know that it was
No
you,
body.
but it was you that was floating around, seeing
Yes.
things
For the
more
second.
clear. The second time you went back, plus you were looking at the astral body, because that's the one that floats around. Was it you, the Atma, floating around, or a body? Was a
The
body
second
floating
time.
around? Was the body or you, the spherical you? How did you see
The
it?
second time is a Atma
That,
spherical.
yeah, that's you. That's you waking up.
Mm.
Okay, that's you being aware that you're running the bodies you're seeing on these planes, including Earth.
So I think here is interesting part, couldn't be. Maybe you can share to people who watch this video now what exercise you do in the back of the book that to have you have this such experience.
That's a good point, Perry.
Do you do any exercise? What exercise? We have like 29 chapters, 29 exercises. What exercise you do at night?
I try to do maybe not yet every night, but as I remember, whenever I remember, I try to do
hold on.
5 steps.
Why
Yeah,
she's
one
asking
exercise.
you is, what did you do that night before you had those two dreams?
The same exercise. 5 step. First step is to clear our body, our mind, stay still comfortably. The second thing about what we feel grateful. That's
You made the
the thoughts.
preliminary.
Yeah, that one almost every night. And the third, I try to calm all bad things, negativity.
Yep, good.
Yeah, that exercise, and then try to send 5 times up to expansion rate,
Good.
and try to say that content, please show me safely, blah blah blah. That one, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's good. So see, this is producing results. You're having experience. It's the Atma that is waking up and bringing the awareness of these two dreams to your life on earth, because the body did not go on these dreams. Your body was asleep. You were out of the body and you brought back that awareness. That's the whole point. So good job.
Thank you.
Good
Okay,
job.
it's like the first time that I saw the dream immediately after finish that dream and floating. That's the key point that I never recognized this kind of dream before.
Well, yeah, but that's V saying that. You, the Atma, knows this stuff. You, the Atma, is the one
Yes,
that is downloading this to your life on earth. When you woke up, you remembered, right?
yes.
Or you wouldn't be telling us. So V is now more enlightened than he was.
Because this physical body is like a low version of computer, so
Yeah,
it
yeah.
takes time to download something, especially advanced or
Yeah,
complicated.
exactly. That's right. It's not conditioned growing up on this planet to do that. So you have to change those conditions that you grew up with. The Atma changes those conditions. You don't.
Yes,
You listen, you learn, you go on the journeys, and then you start to change your consciousness on earth. That's what you're doing. That's what Kwan is doing. I can see it in her face. Whenever she's doing the same thing. Pari's doing the same thing. I'm continuing to do the same thing that you're all doing. I live the life of what I teach or share with others. Right? Starting to get into more fastings, just breaking the habit of food. I wouldn't recommend any of you do that till you're ready, but we really don't even need to eat. It's a habit. It's a conditioning. And some people's fears are so great, if they stop eating, they would die. But other people I know fast 9 days, 15 days. I've done 17, I think. I think at one time I did 17 days. Water. But you have to keep your electrolytes up, eating different kind of nuts, and you have to keep your sodium up by having a vegetable bouillon, like a soup, a cup, with some Himalayan pink salt in it at night before you go to bed. Then you fast just on water. During the day, you can have things like wheatgrass, fresh squeezed wheatgrass, and ginger as a food, because it's still liquid. You're not eating. And then you're keeping all your nutrients up while your body's detoxifying, losing weight, and healing things it can't heal while we're constantly eating. It's not, people don't live normally on Earth. See, they don't. So,
and the second
yeah,
second thing,
yeah,
just maybe just 2 nights before. It just happened yesterday in this body, not in dream.
okay,
While I was feeling cramp, cramp.
yeah.
This is yeah, that one. And immediately at my leg, the cramp feeling.
It left.
Uh, at my leg, the cramp, CRAMP. Is it the
Yeah,
symptom?
cramp like a muscle spasm.
Yeah, muscle. Yes,
Okay.
feel so hurt, and then immediately I thought in my mind that I I would like to use I request a heal expansion ray to heal this symptom, and then after I finish requesting, it feel relief immediately.
Now, isn't that interesting? This is what is called direct experience.
Yeah,
When
it
you
just
have
happened yesterday.
Yeah, great. But when you have direct experience, you become the knower on earth. You become more of a knower, an intelligent knower. You go beyond faith and belief. You get rid of that brainwashing. Everybody on earth is brainwashed with faith and belief. Religions, they're brainwashed all over the planet. And while they're believing in something, they can't ever experience what they believe in. Because to them, they believe it, and then when they die, they supposedly get the answers. This is not true. We're supposed to be awake as Atmas running all the bodies, including the one on Earth, and know it. This work is unique on the entire planet because it actually functions and is conducted to guide people to gradually take back command of themselves as the Atma. Get aside fear of the present and future. Doesn't matter about wars in the world or anything else. You got to choose to set them aside. Because the draw, when you get on the internet, you want to look at all the negative stuff, bombs blowing up and all this stuff. You have to have the strength to look at that with detachment. Or you get caught in the emotional negative stream that everybody else is caught in on Earth. And that pulls you down. That makes you back to being just the body on Earth not knowing anything. So we want to keep that negative stimulus outside of us. Leave it out there. Don't bring it in. We are supposed to be the masters of our own ship. It's up to us to wake up and not bring any negative nature into our world anymore. This is part of the course. This is part of what this work does. It's not just about revealing to people that wondrous beings far more advanced than us exist out in the universe. We're going to go meet some of them on this journey. It's about revealing what people as Atmas have forgotten about their life in the whole multidimensional structure, which is why they were vulnerable to be caught and put on Earth, because they forgot most of that. It made them vulnerable. Make too many mistakes. You cannot be sent or forced to come into a body on Earth and be reincarnated here with all your other higher faculties and past memories shut down or suppressed, because you're just going to make more mistakes until you cross paths with the Hue, and then the Hue starts helping you make the journey back home, which we were supposed to do a long time ago. We're finally doing it. What matters isn't that we didn't do it before. What matters is that we're doing it now, in this life, in a more advanced way than we ever did in any other life. Because the energy of the Hue expansion ray, the omnipresent Hue itself, is changing to make it possible for us to return and become co-creators with the Source. This is part of what its changed nature is. This work reveals for the first time, not involved with any world religions at all, that this thing people pray to is changing. Fortunately for us. Does that make sense? Now you need to kick back, close your eyes, and get ready. Kwan's already there. I don't know what she's seeing, but she's seeing stuff. I do not have a clue where we're going today. I gave this up to people like Satnam and Agam Purusha and Terrellian and Ramu and Opelam and Light C and Etendin, friends I trust with my life. I gave it up to Source itself, to the Hue expansion ray, because collectively they're much more brilliant than I am as an individual. So we'll end up going, one place we're going to today is Zetranami 1. In the physical universe, in our galaxy, we're going to rub shoulders with the Galactic Alliance Council, with Ambassador Turellian. It's very helpful because these 5,000 members of this council represent probably closer to 300 million spacefaring world systems, many living world systems in each spacefaring world system, not just one planet. So they're going on the journey with us. This just came to me when I was connecting with all of them before I got on Zoom. When we rub shoulders with them, remember they are awake now. They're not only more advanced with higher forms of human bodies than we have, four-stranded, most of them. As far as I know, Turellian's race, the Say race, had 12-stranded DNA. There are some races with 8, but they are not disclosed to people on Earth yet. The Say rays are, through Ambassador Turellian. Ambassador Turellian's mentors or guides are the silent mentors. They're the only race of beings the silent mentors ever directly work with that I know of. They do not work with us or regular Atmas or beings in the lower planes. They don't work one-on-one like with us, like a master teacher, like what I'm doing with you. They don't do that. For us to work with them, we have to go above the void, above Satnam's realm, into the U Expansion Ray Academy. And then we can rub shoulders with them and with master teachers. So we want to come back on the way back, stopping off at the etheric, mental, causal, astral, and back to the physical, to make sure that Satnam and Turellian encourage your body forms you're running on those planes to be more awake and more aware and more helpful to each other and to you here on Earth. It is important. Because outside of this work, nobody's revealing this to anyone on this planet, anywhere, through any avenue. Not on the internet, not in books, not in movies, not in religions, certainly not in politics. So this is something that was brought to Earth. It was not created on Earth. When the time comes for me to get involved in directing and producing the feature films, I was talking with someone today, I won't say who, about doing this work. We will be collaborating at some point. Then they will represent a commercial channel for the Hue Expansion Ray. And I will never have to say, even bring up the subject in those films. I won't even say it. I'll show it. People will have the direct experience of being in the Hue in those projects. You, few, are experiencing being directly plugged into the source energy itself, long before these become commercial films available for the public. The audiobook is a good example of the first of its kind audiobook on this planet. It is in English, but it has 66 human, male, female, and even children's voices, reptilian voices, and a British narrator. It's like listening to a feature film in an audiobook, and I wish that it was in Thai for your benefit. But you can both understand enough English to enjoy that audiobook, and you should get it through my website and start exploring it. There is a woman named Margaret in Australia that has reviewed the entire book and all of the techniques in the Sayer's Agenda. She is, how shall we say it, blown away. What she's finding that is deeper in the audiobook goes beyond the books, because it's more kinetic. You can hear voices speaking the lines, saying the parts in the book, in the Sayer's Agenda. And so it's even more visual and connective. When it becomes feature films, it'll be not just be sound with voices, it'll be visuals as well, and orchestrated music to drive the action. In those films, we will not have to speak about the source behind all life or the omnipresent living single power in the universe, this first sound, because it will be in the films. We won't say it. We'll demonstrate it. That's different. It's never been done before. All of these decades has been building up to this point. None of it was easy. Took tremendous patience in order to get things where they are now. It's just a few of us on this journey. When I send out the hue, this is not me just saying in my vocal cords like I'm singing tones. My vocal cords are being used by the Atma running the body while it's in the trance state called sleep, just like yours is right now, all three of you. It's telepathic channel. It is not a psychic channel. It doesn't have positive and negative opposites in it. It's a direct telepathic channel of energy from these masterful beings, from the source to you. And when it goes through you, because you're cooperating, it begins to charge Earth's depleted atmosphere. The water, the H2O, is basically depleted of the hue charge it should have. As that energy charges the atmosphere more people will wake up. More people will have the courage to step forward. And this will take place simultaneously around the planet. It has to start somewhere. So when I send out the hue 6 times, do it with me, privately inside. As Atmas, you sing perfectly. Like these birds up on Satnams come out of the trees and have these perfect male and female singing voices. Those look like birds and they have vocal cords, but it's the sound coming from the Atma through those birds that we hear. Those are silent mentors. They are maintaining the void between the upper realities and the lower planes. So we need to wake up not just to life out in the universe on many worlds. We need to wake up to the life we're experiencing on other planes where we're running bodies. Wake it all up. We have to wake it all up. We don't have a choice. The alternative is to stay dumber than a brick for another billion years and run another billion bodies and still not know anything. That's not acceptable. So the hue expansion ray, this essence in the omnipresent first sound, or the hue behind creation, does not work like it did once before. It connects with people to help them move one way and one way only, for the benefit of all life. That's how it works. I'll begin those tones now. Do them with me. Hue. 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 The last tone connects into the void. The quality and characteristic of the hue sound changes. It becomes deeper. What you should know is you're usually not inside the body. This is not something people on Earth are conscious of anymore. They should be. Or have the option to experiencing being the body or being in the head of the body or being above it. They should have that flexibility. This has to be gradually recovered because you all lost that ability over billions of years. It didn't happen overnight. The faculties that allow you to perceive this as the Atma are not broken or damaged. They're just forgotten. You don't focus on them, you're not aware of them, you do not turn them on. It is the core of your being as the Atma that has to be awake to turn on any of those teardrops in all the layers. You see my point? So the more aware we are of what we are as an Atma and not a body, the better off we are in every way. You're near the ceiling now. Shantil and Tonaltil and Dantam and Lamtam are stationed beside each one of you, Quan and V. You can figure out which couple is which. It doesn't matter. They're just as qualified and capable as each other. There are other beings standing beside Pari and myself, other masterful beings. Pari will know who she's seeing. I usually see Satnam and Turelian behind me. What Turelian has, how do you put it? He makes himself shrink down so he can put his hand on my shoulder. Standing behind me kind of thing is how I see them. But it's a hand on a shoulder of a body that I project to people that is not a human body. It's not molecular. It's not DNA. It's not made of atoms. It is a projection, an image that I show people of my true self, which is the spherical Atma. You're all hovering above your bodies in the trance state called sleep, and there is a man and a woman from the Galactic Alliance assigned to each of us. They're there not to interfere with you. They're there to keep your subconscious problems, upbringing, and brainwashing turned off for this journey. So you can bring back energy that has none of that distortion in it and empower, charge the Atma to begin to not only change you on Earth, but all life on the planet. You become a channel, a doorway for the Hue expansion ray. This is how this really works. It's not selfish or self-centered. It does involve the well-being of yourself, but also the well-being of all life. Not just human beings either. Animals and plants and birds and trees and ocean and charge of the hue and you name it, flowers, lakes and rivers, it's all part of the same living power. Behind the molecules that make up those forms is the omnipresent you. The silent mentors working from and with the source itself know how to maintain entire galaxies and levels and dimensions and planets and plants and people and lakes and worlds turning on their axis. Then the Hue expansion ray certainly knows how to help us become awake and free again. You have to know this in your heart of hearts. It's part of the trust you place in yourself first, and then in the source behind all life. We have to wake up this innate natural abilities we have to work co-creatively in harmony with where we came from the source. We often want to end up at the source on these journeys so that you bring pure, unaltered energy, conscious living energy with you when you return to your body on Earth. It will move through you and it will change you. It changes us. We don't change us. The Atma, when it's awake, running the Hue through itself, can change things on Earth. But it is the one power that makes the change through how we see things, what we imagine, where we place our focus, our attention, our awareness. There is a spherical being, quite bright and beautiful, like you, hovering to each side of you. You can see their 6-foot-tall male-female bodies, Galactic Alliance uniforms on, Galactic Alliance symbol in the right chest area. These are the forms they show you. Their actual physical bodies that look identical to these, not like Earth people, are asleep in lounge chairs aboard the Emerald Star cruiser, a mile-long cylindrical ship stationed in the ice rings in our solar system that surround the planet Saturn. That's part of disclosure. That's why they're here. Disclosure is underway through the United States and for the whole world for the first time. But it's not being done by the personal awake choices of leaders of any country. It's being done despite them, around them, through them, and encouraging certain actions to be taken so the world does not go up in smoke. This is what is happening on Earth today. It's not the Armageddon or the end of the world. It's the end of Armageddon type thinking by races who would just as soon blow this place up if they cannot force their will on others. That is the path of tyrants. That is coming to an end. You will see it. Paving the way. There's a white golden light like a gentle rain of tiny, tiny teardrops of golden white light flowing down through the ceiling where you live, right through all three of you, and through and around your physical body that's asleep, and out through the walls of your home. It is moving through you by your free, conscious, co-creative effort to begin to charge Earth's atmospheric water systems, charge them up again. That's part of the beginning of it. This work is behind what is taking place on Earth. It is not behind destruction or killing. That is Earth's people's responsibility, who are responsible for fixing, allowing tyrants to run any countries. Should never have allowed it in the first place. It has to be fixed now. All of that's taking place now was unexpected by any leader in any country. It's happening despite themselves. People have been, let's just say, they no longer have free will to destroy themselves in arrogant religious or political beliefs. They've never had the right. They don't own planet Earth. It's not their personal property. They don't have the right to destroy it like they think they do. People who do that think they actually possess things like money or property or countries or borders. The world doesn't belong to them. It's a gift. If it belongs to anyone, it belongs to the silent mentors that maintain it, not the silly people on Earth. It's important to know the difference. So as I'm sharing this with you telepathically, it's moving through you to awaken those faculties in you so you know the difference. It's the way the master teachers work. They just, I don't want to say they rub off on you. The energy through them rubs off on you as it passes through you on its way elsewhere. The Hue expansion ray just never stops moving. You cannot hold it in your hands. You cannot grasp it. You cannot possess it. You cannot order it about. You can be humble with it and imagine good things, and it will manifest those things. But we have no power to control the omnipresent living force. We never have. It's not our place to do that. There are no books on Earth that said to you what I just said, written down anywhere. In monasteries, in Himalayas, in other dimensions, they're not there. Let's just say that books that would have this down as text may come in the future. They don't exist on Earth yet. I would leave that in the hands of a Galactic Alliance to distribute volumes of material about the hidden history of Earth and our solar system and the Galactic Alliance that people on Earth have no idea existed, or they've long forgotten it. What is documented in the 4 books, The Savior's Agenda, The Emerald Doorway, Guardians of the Ancient One, and Journey to the Center of the Universe, are, let's say, the first manifestations of such texts in adventure, in great adventure format. Non-fiction in one category. Body, mind, spirit, UFOs, and extraterrestrials is one non-fiction category these books are published in. The second category, to tie it all together for the understanding of people on Earth, is fiction. It's action adventure. But the action adventure took place. In some of the books, like in the Savior's Agenda, the names of certain classified bases, locations of certain things, were set aside a little differently than where they are, so that people on Earth do not go running there like idiots and get themselves shot crossing into classified territory. So there are certain things that were done on purpose a certain way. Now you know. The energy coming through you from the ceiling grows brighter, and you find yourselves in space in a circle of beings around Ambassador or Master Ambassador Trillian. He always shows us an 18-foot tall body, human, like a Greek god. But not really Greek. He's not bald. He's long, slightly wavy blonde hair to his shoulders, big blue eyes, slightly bigger than Earth human, slightly pointed ears. White gown on. He could have any gown on he wants. Bare feet. The form he's showing you is the form he shows of himself, because above it is hovering this big, beautiful Atma. That's Trillian. Pari's a little to my left. I'm a little further to the right. She's about a quarter of the way from Earth. Ramu's to her left, just in front of Earth. Opelum's further to my right, directly opposite him out in space in the circle of beings. Light seas on the other 3/4 around the circle. Etta and Din are hovering above the being that is Trillian, their tails glowing. Beautiful big Atmas hovering above these Dren forms. These are master teachers. They are not human. They're silica-based, not carbon-based. They come from Oceania, Opelum's planet. They evolved there and were greatly enhanced in the revolution by the Sayrays, by the Oceanian scientists, rather, like Dom. So they could speak all languages and had vocal cords that worked and were telepathic, and far more advanced than human beings on Earth are. And this is just normal for them. High above in space, beyond Earth, you can see Earth in the distance with its polar ice caps and its blue oceans and its land masses. The barren dead moon that orbits it that does not turn on its axis at all. A single sun off in the distance. The golden white light of the hue surrounding us that is that so-called vacuum of space that looks dark blue or black to people in pictures they've seen from satellites or the shuttle or telescopes that are floating in space, that kind of thing. It has a sound to it. There's this light, golden white light. It's different than the light that comes from stars. There are billions of them in the Milky Way. Big, giant, blue, young, hot white stars. Big yellow ones, brighter and more brightly white and yellow than our sun. Giant red suns, or red giants, or red dwarfs that have dwindled in size. They're near the end of their life cycle. They could last hundreds of millions of years, or even another billion when they're like that. Who knows? There's only one group of beings I know who know, and that's the silent mentors that run all of that. Up above us is this whirling golden white hourglass-shaped vortex in space. Blue-green light revolving around it like water, glowing. It isn't water. And Satnam standing below it. And below him, two silent mentor couples, male, female, male, female. Big Atmas hovering above them, 4 times bigger than us. Satnam is as big as them, maybe even a little bigger. Hard to say. The color and the light coming from Satnam is more white. I can't explain it other than that. The teardrop-shaped layers covering the spectrum of light and more than Earth people see in each of these silent mentor Atmas. There's twice as many of them. These are the beings who have always run the mechanics of creation. Do not think you're off the hook for being responsible for why Earth and the way the lower worlds work, because in the beginning, when we were all at the source, we created this monster we thought was good, this failed experiment of good and evil. Look what it's done. Earth is a primary example of the failed experiment of good and evil. It does not produce master teachers. It destroys worlds. Even the entire lower dimensions of time and space have been destroyed before. Atmas brought up into the void and higher, rebuilt it, and they're sent back. That's happened several times. And each time, billions of years later, beings still end up in the same trap. Nothing has changed. The experiment of good and evil was so well done, it trapped beings who ventured down into the lower worlds. Now, you all know this. This goes way beyond just disclosing extraterrestrials are out there, traveling around in faster-than-light spaceships. And no, they do not travel to Earth with refrigerators full of dead animal body parts to eat along the way. Are you kidding? That's an Earth twisted thinking. Now, everybody on Earth has been made to suffer from the same distorted vision of how to live. Everyone. This has to change. I don't have the power to change it, but the source does. Maybe a silent mentor has the power to change one planet just by waving their finger at it. But I don't. Certainly they have access to great volumes of the Hue expansion ray to do their jobs. These are the beings who have decided of their own free will to join us on these journeys. You can hear the sound of the deep humming like soft thunder, consistent, no lightning, not frightening, that this Hue makes in the physical universe. It makes this same sound through 144 parallel dimensions of higher and higher molecular time-late realities before we even get to the barrier between the astral plane and the physical plane. And then matter changes in a higher vibration rate. Bodies have greater abilities and more intelligence and longer lives there in the astral. Also greater traps, because it's also the plane of positive and negative emotions. Emotions, properly focused, are the power that manifest what we visualize. So if your astral body is in trouble, or like everyone's, not really working properly or with each other forms, then Earth is a very difficult place to change. This too is changing for the first time. My purpose for being on this earth, certainly more realized it in the last few years than ever before, isn't about family or having wives or daughters or someone you can lose, or pets that will never last before you lose them. It's about being co-creatively a part of a great change in the entire multidimensional universe for the first time. Ultimately, that's what we were all destined to do. Isn't that interesting? The energy coming down through the vortex and down through Satnam and through these four silent mentors, passing down through Etta and Din and into Ambassador Trellian, who's just grinning. He has this funny little quirky grin smile that he does. It's coming through his hands with his thumbs up, his fist out in front of him. It's creating a wider golden light of the Hue around his fist. And then he's creating this oval, transparent light around us, like the hull of a spaceship, to keep us all inside something to go on this journey, focused, disciplined. The Galactic Alliance couple standing beside you in this circle, the Atma hovering above the forms they show you, and the Atma you are hovering above the form you show them, just like Terrellian, just like me. It is the Atma and the form we project, we show each other that goes on these journeys, not your physical body on Earth. Molecular time rate matter of the physical universe cannot even go into the astral plane. On a ship, you could travel between 144 parallel dimensions on ships, like Galactic Alliance vessels. But they don't go into the astral plane. I suspect the spectrum ships of the Oceanians can do that. They're more like their mentors, the silent mentors. The silent mentors had ships that could traverse the astral planes, 144, and all the physical universe. And they seeded life and raised genetic entities and biological forms up to spacefaring capability, and then stepped away, disappeared for 1 billion years. They're back. The first and only place you will find Ambassador Trillian revealed to Earth's people is through this work. But he doesn't step foot on the planet. Not yet. Trillian is moving one of his right fist with a thumb up out between the moon and the Earth, deeper and upward into space. The next instant, there's a flash of light that's coming down from that vortex, and we are taken, projected, instantly, high above the Milky Way galaxy, out in that deep white golden light of the void of space. Of course, we know it's not a void, it's a living one conscious power. It's a living energy, it's not an individual. The core of our being is made of exactly the same living energy, which makes us individuals within it. That's the whole point, isn't it? We're looking down on the seven spiral arms of the Milky Way galaxy. You've all seen pictures of this. Further out in space, you can see a slightly larger spiral galaxy, our neighbor, called Andromeda. The Galactic Alliance Council of Andromeda is also involved on these journeys now. People on Earth don't have any idea any of this is happening. Nobody in the UFO community, disclosure communities, none of them know this yet. Doing the best they can. But they're often caught up in peddling fear. And that traps them. Makes them easily manipulatable so that they cannot work together in any large number of people. And they don't. They are not a threat to the classified government on this planet. They don't waste time messing with your satellite or internet links like some people are claiming. People do that to themselves out of their own fear. They have no need to do that. Men in black are not going to come to your front door and knock on your forehead and say, stop doing what you're doing. Because collectively, we're not a threat to them. You should all understand this now, clearly. They too are changing. They too want to know not only the source behind all life, they want to know races from other worlds. And they have their own fears to deal with, to let go of. So the Galactic Alliance is working with them too, secretly, really. Because Earth people with the fears they have would react in a negative way if it was suddenly exposed to them. So it has to be gradually imparted to Earth's people, what we call disclosure. It's much more involved and much deeper than people think. Now we're suddenly moving at tremendous speed down towards the fourth spiral arm opposite the one where Earth is, which is about 2/3 of the way down that spiral arm. And we're going towards the galactic core, the big bulge of stars where there's so much more concentrated stars moving around a black hole. It isn't black really, it's a white golden shaft of light running up and down the shaft. It is an interdimensional portal, a doorway, a concentric generator. Practical. The hue from a higher reality like the astral is put down through these doorways into galaxies in the physical. It's how higher hue manifests and supports lower frequencies or less intensity of the hue that silent mentors regulate, control. We do not. I do not know of a single silent mentor, including the top silent mentor, that thinks they possess a planet. They have complete freedom in the universe to wipe out worlds or stop polar flips. They don't have the motivations or silliness that people on Earth have. They're not interested in any petty nonsense. They don't have physical bodies. They don't need money. They don't eat. You see, in some circles, that's normal. That's normal. Earth people on Earth should be normal. At least 4-stranded DNA, not just 2. So as they're recovered, their DNA chains will change. It won't be done by us. That will be done by the Galactic Alliance scientists and technicians, medical people, if you will. They certainly know how to do it. Technically, practically, easily, effortlessly. Once this world has accepted life on other worlds, which is inevitable now, then this kind of thing can be brought here and given to us. There's no financial cost or charge. Think about that. What people on Earth think this way. They should be. We're coming down inside the outer third of this big bulge of billions of stars. And we're coming down to a planet. And as we hover above this planet, it is no polar ice caps. 3 continents around its surface. 3 moons the size of Earth with no polar ice caps. Different beautiful lands on each. Domed cities on all of them. And from here we can see as we approach this planet that this solar system orbits a trinary star system. Even scientists on Earth, at least classified ones, and some academic ones as well now, understand that most of the suns and stars out beyond Earth are binary, 2 suns, one revolving around another, or trinary, 3. There are some with 4 or 5. I haven't even gotten into that yet with anybody. Some with 6. You get a whole different arrangement coming closer to the galactic core. Even in that dense cluster of stars, stars are so far apart, they don't cook the planets that revolve around them. Think about it. You used to know this stuff. And we can see there's a big blue white hot star out there, big yellow one circling it, another one further out. And there's a number of planetary orbits surrounding these triple suns that have life on all of them, not like our solar system. We only have 1 sun. Because of that, planets are going to have polar ice caps. They don't have suns behind them or somewhere else, or 3, that would eliminate such things and make the vibrations on those worlds higher and more stable. The hue comes right through the radiations of a sun, right through the polar axis of the galaxy to feed the physical universe. They're everywhere. There is the omnipresent you that is space, and that there's the energy of the conscious you that moves through these galaxies. This is how we need to, by thinking and visualizing as people on Earth, in order to play among the stars with fellow beings, we have to be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with them and understand simple things like this that aren't taught to people on Earth. There's no PhD program in science on Earth that teaches any of this. None of it. There's no one in a university that teaches anti-gravitic propulsion systems. Anti-gravitic. That's not normal, by the way. We're coming down on this atmosphere with a slightly pink and lavender color to it. And as we move through the atmosphere, it is glowing. It is charged with the hue. The water droplets actually emit light, like the aurora borealis, when the ions from the sun affect the upper atmosphere, make it glow. You get it? Aurora borealis is a symbol of how Earth's water should be, glowing. The only thing that still glows now is in the upper atmosphere. Well, that's pretty silly. We're moving through the underside of that atmosphere. We come out and we see down below, in the middle of a continent, actually a little more towards the west. Off to the left, you see a curved half-moon bay-shaped, golden, luminous, sandy beach. And out this golden ocean, the ocean water is actually a golden color, glowing a foot above the calm ocean surface. There's no violent waves, no earthquakes, no tidal waves, no volcanoes, none of that on normal worlds. Because the hue and the silent mentors that run those worlds, with cooperative beings living on them, can maintain them like this. All the individual beings on Earth with their individual wheels and misdirected egos conflicting with each other keeps a great flow of the hue from coming through them to charge Earth's atmosphere, which is what we should be doing. You can see long, tall, pyramidal-shaped buildings, golden-sided, quartz-capped. Spherical beings on tripod legs. Huge, beautiful rivers running through perfectly landscaped gardens. Trees that have luminous leaves. The glowing ocean off in the distance, and a big white dome in the center of this garden paradise. Big, curved, like a third of a top of a sphere. Has a sparkling mineral in it that kind of flashes like formica in the sunlight. It's translucent. You can see images of beings through this dome as we approach it. We're still in a circle around Turelian. We are moving in these ways as Atmas, which have no limits of time and space or gravity or wormholes or dark matter or black holes or vortexes or any kind of gravitational influences. We're not affected by any of that. We're not made of any of it. And so this planet, Zetranami 1, is the headquarter world of the Galactic Interdimensional Alliance of Free Worlds. This is a term that's still not known amongst the UFO people and disclosure people on Earth. They have not been given a deeper reality yet of what organization runs this universe. We know that another organization, the Zetranami on one planet, and Zetranami's people run the other half of the galaxy. They work together now. Their own councils of governors, you might say, are in complete harmony. The big problem now in our universe is not reptilians or greys. They've been taken care of. It's the people on Earth that are nuts, lunatics, so dumbed down and so forgetful they couldn't save themselves if they tried. They must be helped. They're raised in vibration from beings from other worlds who do not have the problems we grew up with, all of us. The fears, the internet, the news media, the lust for money and power and ownership and possession does not exist on those other worlds. So we can't be expected to be invited to go play amongst them the way we are. Now, can we? We're moving down as a group, transforming right through the dome. We're hovering near the ceiling inside the upper inner edge of this dome. There's a white shaft of white golden light coming down through the dome, hitting the exact center of maybe it's a 20-foot across, foot-thick circular blue stage. Surrounding it in 15 concentric circles are white leather-like chairs. are 5,000 Galactic Alliance Council members, men and women, different races, not all human, wearing a white gown with a gold sash from the right shoulder to the lower hip, standing to greet us. They see us around Turelian. Their vibration's been raised. The Atmas are hovering above the forms that are standing there. These are their physical bodies on Zetranami 1. And we're hovering in a circle near the ceiling around Turelian, who's right in the center of this shaft of light. I'm there with him. So is Satnam. The big book unfolds and appears right out of nowhere under Turelian's left arm. He unfolds it and lays it out in front of him. It's just levitating itself 4 feet above this disc floor. It's got a pale blue-gray metallic-like page and cover. It says the Seres Agenda on the cover. And he opens it and you see these hieroglyphic letters. Look very similar to the Lemurian symbol that is in one of the pages of the Seres Agenda. That didn't originate on Earth, but it was known back in the time of Lemuria. These symbols are moving in lines like text in a book, but you can't read them. They change. They're fire letters. The only way to get the awareness of what's in that book, which comes from Source, is to let it flow through you. So these rays are emitted from these pages that flow through each one of the Atmas we are, through the bodies we have, through the Galactic Alliance Council members, through the Atmas they are. It flows up through them and connects back into the shaft of light coming down in Turelian. It never stops moving. On its way through us for the good of all life, it imparts little charges of awareness, let's put it that way. Turelian is from the Seres. When he had a body, it was 12-stranded, far more advanced than a human body on Earth, far more advanced than bodies in the Galactic Alliance Council, far more advanced than Oceanans. Opelum has 4-stranded DNA like Ramu. Lightsea doesn't even have DNA. He only has a body in the etheric plane just below the void and works in the big pyramid. Down the western roadway, first turn to the right with a big quartz crown on top of that 4-sided golden pyramid. The tree of life is positioned in the floor in the center of that pyramid. These are things we can see in this light that's flowing through us, up inside the dome of the Galactic Alliance Council. Then you see the Atmas 5,000 move above the forms. They sit them down in those chairs. They nod their heads to their shoulders, close their eyes, and surround us in layer after layer of beings. Then you see the same number of beings, slightly different color of Atma, appear hovering above them in circles. They are from the Andromeda galaxy. And they're going on this journey with us. I didn't know it till it was taking place right now. Very rare. It's never happened before. Ever, anywhere. The purpose for this is they will be bringing back energy from Source to distribute to their people on all their world systems in 2 galaxies. This is also taking place in other galaxies as well. The Dos Ventalis couple that teaches in the west on the Western Roadway in the U Expansion Ray Academy, last turn to the right near the golden, glowing, or diamond-like sandy beach. There's a long rectangular building the size of a soccer stadium. They come from a galaxy 5 galaxies away from the Milky Way. They have physical bodies still on those worlds. They teach in the U Expansion Ray Academy. So do the Zetranami couple from our galaxy in our parallel dimension. Attend and teach there. Silent mentors have a number of teaching facilities there. Turelian points upward and all of us in a much larger oval, transparent, golden white light being emanated by Turellian's closed fists with thumbs up, suddenly hear a high note of a flute, and we are drawn upward, right out the top of this dome, and up into space, and right up into the bottom vortex, following Zetranami and the two silent mentor couples. We come up all the way in the center of this huge interdimensional doorway vortex. Up ahead we see a pale blue, luminous, brilliant, more bright than the hue in space, but I call it a pale blue, cobalt blue light. We come out the other end of this and look down through this narrowing shaft of this hourglass-shaped doorway to see us hovering in space above planet Zetranami 1. And then the vortex vanishes. We see it reappear above our heads in the void. It was there all the time. We are moved forward at tremendous speed, actually in a spiral upward, and we stop near a beach. We just come across this big beach. It's a diamond white luminous beach, brighter than anything in the lower worlds. It curves as far as you can see left and right, meaning it's circling a huge floating circular landmass, which is Zetranami's mystic realm called the Atma plane, the first realm above the void. And there are many. The void is not the realm of the Supreme Being. It is a living, pure hue energy, and it's conscious, but it is not an individual. And it's not the source. We come above these jungle trees that are just massive, the background of this luminous beach, still in a group around Turellian. And we pause above the jungle trees as these birds come out of the branches. Long V-shaped split tails, rainbow colored, beautifully blended, thousands of colors of the spectrum. Beautiful beak, big blue eyes, twin sets of bird wings hovering like hummingbirds, and above them is hovering Atmas, 4 times bigger than us. These are silent mentors. They open their beaks and begin to sing with beautiful male and female voices, the sound of the hue, in such harmonies you can't even produce them on Earth. And you can see it brightening the cobalt blue light of the void. They maintain it 24/7. Remember, we're in a place now where there are no days and nights, no planets, no moons, no stars, no time, no space. Just the presence of this eternal, living, conscious energy in different projected forms, maintained by individual beings, because that's how it works in the upper realities. One of these hummingbird couples, male and female, flies up in front of all 4 of our faces, and others in front of all the Galactic Alliance Council, Andromeda Galactic Alliance Council, Turellian, and they just hover a foot away from the forms we show each other. A brilliant white light is sent from their foreheads right into the white core of our beings, making it a little brighter. That's for Turellian as well. And then they go back about their business, back down into the trees. Every kind of tree is represented here, all glowing. Trunks are full of golden white light. They all glow. And we move over the top of the jungle. This time we're going far over the top of this 4-sided, golden-sided quartz cap roof, suspended by 2 giant lapis lazuli gold-laced pillars. There's a blue quartz-like throne chair in the center of it, white golden light shaft coming down into it. And we move right through that whole structure, right into this triangular opening, and come out into the base of this mountain. We see this massive fountain. It's cobalt blue, scalloped edges. It's like 30, 50 feet across. And it has a Christmas tree like blue-green light coming up to a point, and it looks almost like a fir tree. And the light's moving up and down. And there's a cylindrical shaft of white golden light coming down over it. It is a doorway. This doorway goes to the Hue Expansionary Academy, right above the tower, and then above the tower all the way to Agam Purusha's realm, and then all the way to Source itself, and beyond that. And we find ourselves suddenly as a group shot up this shaft of light above the top of this tree. The next instant we see ourselves looking down through the crystal blue glass-like Hue Expansionary Academy tower. You can see its outer edges come out of the outer circumference of a white island. There's a blue-green luminous lake around it. 6 blue stone snow-covered mountains surround it. And we can see down in the center of that island, inside this tower, is a 4-foot high, 2-foot wide lapis lazuli-like stone laced with gold, rounded edges. A 4-foot in diameter crystal blue sphere hovering above it, a foot above it, not touching it. A cobalt blue star gleaming with brilliant white light at the center of it. We can see down through the ground below this island, and we see a vast hollowed out chamber. It's the hollowed out interior of the Hue Expansionary Academy. And we are above the point, the top point of this Hue Expansionary Academy tower. There is a blue scalloped edge fountain 2/3 of the way up inside a oval center of it, like a flattened oval. No statue of Zetranami here. And we're looking out over every direction of the Hue Expansionary Academy. It's bigger than the Atma plane. Out in the far distance, we can see a white diamond-like beach and a blue-green wave crashing continuously, softly against this luminous diamond-like sand. It's revolving left to right, clockwise. It continues to circle this entire floating landmass in this more brilliant cobalt blue space that surrounds it. No stars, no moons, no planets, no suns. Nothing here is made of nuclear material. There's no atoms, no protons, no electrons, no DNA. And then we look down right through the tower, and we find ourselves suddenly hovering inside, near the ceiling of the inside of this massive, huge oval-shaped interior, hollowed out interior of the Hue Expansionary Academy. On the outside edge of it, we're in a shaft of light. Tyrellian's in the middle of it, Zetranami and myself, and all of us are in a circle around him, hovering above the ground. There's a number of white leather-like chairs in concentric circles. This is a vast area. You see all of the Galactic Alliance Council members from 2 galaxies, that's 10,000, hover down and set their bodies down in these chairs. Now this is the form they show each other and us that is not made of matter. These bodies don't sleep, they're projection. The Atmas are hovering above each and every one of them. And in the distance, surrounding this are 12 giant trees. They are like giant weeping willow trees with broad, green, luminous, spoon-shaped leaves. They look like weeping willow trees. The shaft of the trunks of these trees is transparent, glowing with golden white light. Standing above each one are a dozen silent mentors, alternating male-female. Each one has a different single pastel-colored gown covering their body form, different colored long hair to their shoulders, and one big Atma, 4 times bigger than us, hovering above these forms they show us. The faces are a white golden light. There's no facial features. When you gaze into each of them, you see galaxies upon levels of galaxies that exist from the Hue Expansion Ray Academy down through Satnam's realm and all the way down back to Earth. We're here simply to rub shoulders with such beings. You got master teachers in the center of this shaft of light. Many of the beings in the Galactic Alliance Councils are master teachers as well. Some of them from the Galactic Alliance Council and from the Andromeda Council, from the Milky Way Council, work in the Hue Expansion Ray Academy. Thousands of teaching facilities there, down many white roadways. The Hue Expansion Ray and the sound like a high note of a flute is moving down through, right through Torellian, myself, and Satnam, and there's other beings here, Lightseed, Et and Din, and they're moving out through all of you, through the forms you show each other, through the atmas you are, through the trees, right up the trunks, through the silent mentor forms they show us, through the atmas they are, and they connect in converging beams up into the shaft of light. This takes place high above in this blue, cobalt blue space of the Hue Expansion Ray Academy, outside and beyond the hollowed out interior. It goes one way, and then it turns around and comes down through the silent mentors and through you, and through the beings inside the shaft of light and back to source. It's like a light that moves both directions at the same moment. The sound cannot be described in human terms. So we're here to rub shoulders with the silent mentors. What does that mean? I have no clue, except that we are being evolved into something new, something that has not existed before. I would say it's kind of like being part silent mentor and part master teacher. The detached perspective of running the multidimensional universe that does not care for individual training of atmas, and the beings that do, so that both are intertwined. This is how you retire the failed experiment of good and evil. It has to be practical. It has to take place in the upper realities in order for it to be brought to the lower realities. It can't be done the other way around. And then we're suddenly, as a group, all of us, 10,000 Galactic Alliance Council members, big oval golden and white light around us from Torellian. He serves as the focal point for these journeys. And then we're shot up through this open vortex. It's still above us even here. We go up the shaft of this huge interdimensional portal and come out the other end. And suddenly this vortex disappears below us, and we are in a group in a fiery realm. Orange and green and lavender and purple and violet and blue and every kind of color you can think of, firing and flowing up out of. There's no ground here. Moving in every direction, reappearing, taking weird twisted forms and vanishing. It's just energy, raw energy. And then a big, massive, spherical being approaches us out of the mist. And the fiery energy clears away from him, and he approaches the whole group of us. And he telepathically says, "You are welcome to the plane of the Agam Lok. I am the custodian of this place. My job is to transform pure, raw energy of the hue into forms that support all of the multidimensional creation. You have been given permission to travel into the tree of life you see in the distance." Suddenly we begin to see in this fiery realm a massive tree, silver golden, roots as big as planets, flowing down into this mist and disappearing below us. Top of this tree disappearing in the heights. The trunk golden white light, transparent. And as we move through the branches, through the needles, each one of us become aware. That means all of us. That each one of the needles on this tree is connected to a place, a location, a planet, a place throughout the multiverse. This is the tree of life. It has a function and a purpose. And we're suddenly moving up the trunk of this golden white light. We come out the other end. We are in the source, the realm of prime creator, the ancient one. The hue expansion ray, whatever you want to call it. Moving through a space so brilliant, so cobalt blue, it cannot be described. The sound is beyond any orchestra on earth. Billions of beings singing and maintaining this locality are revolving like stars around a galactic center. Off in the distance, we're fast approaching it. We enter the outer few stars and realize these are very far apart. The entire group of us easily passes between them. And then we realize, wait a minute, you're one of those stars moving around the center of creation, and you never left here. Everything else is a projection. We move through the various layers of luminous white, almost brilliant white, slightly gold-tinged beings. And we come out in the interior, one-third hollowed out center of this, what we thought was a galaxy. And it's a vacuum. It's a blue light inside. And the center is a circular white island. Floating above it is a massive being, thousands of layers of teardrop-shaped faculties, parts of this being, which is not an individual, this presence. And we are suddenly moved between the outer layers, the first layer of these teardrop-shaped faculties. We realize the distance between two of those teardrops is like the distance between two stars. And we move through the layers right into the white core. And now all of us hear a voice come out of the white core in the center of this massive spherical presence. Welcome, courageous travelers, to your home away from home. It has been billions of years, in Earth terms, since most of you have started to return here, finally. This is a place where all things manifest from. To be here is rare amongst the races living in the lower worlds of time and space, but this is changing now. And then this voice, deep baritone mixed with the subtle qualities of the feminine, celestial, like tinkling bells and chimes, says something individually to each one of you. Not just you, us four, but everyone else on this journey. Master teachers, 10,000 Galactic Alliance representatives from 2 galaxies. And they're bright at the end, this white core of their beings in all of us becomes a little brighter. And this voice says again, this is the nexus, the central point at which all atmas connect and always have. There's no negative nature here, no past and future, no time, no space, no planets, no moons, no suns, no stars. Everything here is luminous, including each one of you. Now you must return so that your physical bodies on earth are not stopped working, so they don't stop working. A flash of light finds us all suddenly hovering at the base, at the bottom of the void, far below Satnam's realm. moving through an aurora borealis type of energy wave, like a rainbow ribbon. It's a barrier between the bottom of the void and the top of the etheric plane. We pass through it easily. We are now hovering in a realm that has 80,000 continent-sized continents floating in this mystic blue space. They're not worlds. And where suddenly each of us find ourselves standing by a palatial, transparent estate on golden steps, bodies that are transparent, perfect. The Atma you are hovering above it. Its eyes are closed. Satnam and Turelian appear behind and beside each one of you simultaneously and stimulate this body to open its eyes, which it does. The first thing it does is look up and see into the void, into Satnam's realm, into the hollowed interior of the U Expansion Ray Academy, all the way to Source, Agam Purusha's realm, and back. Then they look down through their own 144 parallel dimensions into the mental plane, where you have a body well dressed, lives millions of years. It's not like an earth body, and it's standing on some kind of a palatial estate on many world systems, with the eyes closed. Satnam and Turelian appear simultaneously beside each of those forms. You are hovering above it. It opens its eyes. It looks up. It sees the etheric body looking down on it. It looks down through its planes. This is really the Atma, you looking this way through it. And it looks down through to the causal plane. And you're standing on one of many thousands of tropical type islands. And there's a dome building, like a triangular dome building in a jungle setting by a luminous blue beach. And each one of you are standing on the balcony of one of these dome structures, transparent. Your eyes are closed. Satnam and Turelian appear beside you, wake you up, have you look up to see your mental body looking down at you. Then it looks down to see your astral body on one of hundreds of thousands of islands, tropical, luminous blue, slightly gold, luminous water. And you're standing on this luminous lavender beach, in this case, glowing. Your eyes are closed, perfectly formed. You all appear to be about 40, but flawless. This is your astral body, your emotional center. And Turelian and Satnam appear beside each of you, all of you. Wake this form up, it looks up and sees the causal body looking down, and looks down and sees the Atma you are hovering near the ceiling of your home on Earth. It is conscious, hovering above the sleeping physical body. And looks down to see your sleeping physical body in the trance state called sleep. The energy moves through that form, through you, from Source, where we just came from, passes through the walls of your home, and enters the atmosphere of Earth to charge it. And then it enters 3 pyramids stationed on Earth, run by silent mentors. 2 at the bottom of Earth's deepest oceans, 1 in a hollowed-out interior of a mountain in the Himalayas. There's a fountain with a statue of Satnam in each one. Glowing golden white light is being sent through you to these pyramid centers and beamed out to 3 beams that connect in space between the Earth and the Moon. And then it's beamed to a more massive pyramid, golden-sided with a quartz top, stationed stably between 2 stable asteroids in the asteroid field that circles in the orbit of what was a planet between Mars and Jupiter. That was Maldek. That was blown up a long time ago. Imbalanced the planets in this solar system. And that energy is beamed from a fountain in the center to the very galactic core of the galaxy and up the shaft, the black hole, which is the black hole, And it continues back to source where we just came from. It's continuously moving and never stops. And it's moving one way through us now. It cannot be reversed, fortunately. So now we are back. And when you're ready, awaken your sleeping bodies and open your eyes. We can have a little question and answer as part of this one recording instead of doing another one like we do with the Emerald Doorway Journeys. So if you could turn on your mics, that's okay. Don't worry about what you're going to say or anything like that. But all of you turn on your mics, please. You too, V. Mike, you turn it on? You hear us, V?
Today, during the journey, I saw some pictures related or not related to the journey, just pop up. But the key point is in color, because most journeys I saw only black and white, but today I saw more in color.
That's good.
Right.
That is the Atma that sees that, not on Earth. But your body is now aware of it, aren't you? Your physical person. That's what's important. Right, Quan?
Yes. I have a question about the Zetranami 1 and Zetranami. I believe that Zetranami is the people, right? So what about the location of these two stars?
They're not stars, they're planets.
A planet.
Zetranami 1, here's Earth, one of the spiral arms. Here's the core. It's on the opposite side in one of the spiral arms, opposite Earth. It's much bigger planet than Earth. 3 moons the size of Earth orbiting it. Trinary sun system. That is where the Zetranami race lives, on Zetranami 1. Zetranami 1, yeah. Zetranami 1 is near the galactic bulge, about a third of the way into it. It is also a much bigger world than Earth with 3 moons around it, also orbiting a trinary star system. If you were in daytime on that planet and looked into the daytime sky, there's so many stars closer to it, you'd see all these brilliant, beautiful, massive stars in space in the middle of the day. It's not like anything you can see from Earth. I would say a close approximation of it is what is shown at the end of the movie Contact with Jodie Foster. They show this tropical beach and you see all these brilliant blue and yellow stars and red stars up there in the middle of the day. It was brilliantly done. That was years ago. The technology we have today in filmmaking can show people anything you can imagine, absolutely realistically. What the Atma looks like, leaving your body, meeting with Galactic Alliance people, going on journeys, traveling amongst the stars, getting in and out of your body. And the parallel in the Emerald Doorway book, there's one place where Master Starland and Master Ramu, who walks through the walls of the ship, shows them out of their bodies, running these bodies. It's something we can show people without telling them. That's the brilliance of it. They become part of the experience. They don't have to preach anything. Don't have to set up a bridge. Don't have to get them ready to know anything. It's not a mental thing. It's an Atma thing. So when those movies come out, we'll be addressing, communicating with the Atmas, not their bodies. The vibrations on Earth have to be right for that. Just thought I'd give you a little heads up about that. So your question is, these two planets are in the physical universe of our galaxy, in our parallel dimension. Oceania is in the Milky Way galaxy on the other side, but in the third higher parallel dimension. There's 144 of them before you even get to the astral plane. It's just big. Now, it should boggle your V mind and your Quan mind, Pari, even mind in a way, but when you're the Atma, you just understand it. It's just that simple. Once you can see and comprehend levels, you're thinking multidimensionally. You're not the same person anymore. And you cannot be returned the way you were. That's the good part. Any other questions?
Which
I do have-
planet is the headquarters of Alliance, Galactic Alliance?
Galactic Alliance of this galaxy or someone else?
Yeah. This galaxy, what planet is that? What's the name of the planet?
Zetranami 1.
Okay.
You knew that.
Yeah, because to make sure, Zetranami 1, Zetranami, Zetranami,
We've done quite a bit with the Zetranami master teacher couple. They're running physical bodies on their world in our physical parallel dimension on a world 3.5 million years old, unaged. Think about that. Life out in the universe, disclosure goes way beyond what anybody could handle right now on this planet. They couldn't even comprehend it. Normal life on other worlds. So there's a lot of bridge of getting the Atma, waking up those bodies that has to take place here. Sepharis is the name of how the Galactic Alliance Council, and actually the name that the Andromeda people see their galaxy as, called Sepharis, the distant wonder. It has several names that people use. I'm going to go to them. Archendra. This is the home world of the Andromeda Galaxy Galactic Alliance Council. This galaxy is called Sepharis, the distant wonder, by them, and this is how the Milky Way Galactic Alliance Council refers to their galaxy, our nearest galactic neighbor. Not so strange, you should know this stuff. On normal Galactic Alliance worlds, kids would grow up knowing this stuff. They grow up with it. There is a world called Nystrea. This is the conscious world of the silent mentors located on the other side of the Milky Way galaxy, near the end of one of the Severan spiral arms. You cannot see it. Galactic Alliance Council spaceships would not even detect it unless the silent mentors wanted them to. They work in anonymity. They don't work to show off. They hold everything together. So these are little things that you get along the way of these journeys that aren't written in books. The master teachers we meet, other than in these books, a little bit are mentioned. But the places we go and what we do on these journeys aren't even in the 4 published books. They're beyond Earth. Any other questions?
not a question, but today's journey with 2 galaxies, council. It's really something.
Yeah.
Whatever we do, they know, like connecting today. I can understand it.
It's called the law of economy. Do you know what that means? It's got nothing to do with money. The law of economy means that in the use of the Hue expansion ray energy by master teachers, they will take the path of least resistance. So if you can get 2 Galactic Alliance Councils together in one journey like this, with 4 people from Earth, and go all the way to source, and then they go back to their own worlds and distribute that energy, These are the beings we're counting on to save us from ourselves. These journeys aren't like what you might think. They aren't just about me or selfishly you. They're part of a change in the way the lower worlds of time and space are going to be run. Never happened before. Hundreds of billions of years. Something new. None of us know what the lower worlds will be like. They won't be destroyed. But what they'll be like when they're mirrors of the upper realities, which they're supposed to be one day. I'm looking forward to it. No one knows, because we haven't manifested it yet. We're still working from source, you know, where we went today. We still live there. We never left. Those are worlds without time and space, past and future. So you can't really leave, but you can project forms and take on bodies and do things to learn in the lower worlds. And that's exactly what we did. And then got lost in it. We all did. That's being reversed now. That's pretty cool. I mean, I can't think of anything more lofty or wondrous than having been around for billions of years and now we get to actually wake up and create something with source. That's pretty cool, I think. Any other questions? Quan, you first. Better let Quan go first and then you, V.
Thank you. I just would like to ask for your advice about, because I'm trying to discover about what is the reason that make myself to be vulnerable and be trapped in this life, this planet. So I could not see the big overview. So I just would like to get your advice.
Well, you do know about the primary implant. You've been on it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's part of it. It's not the whole thing. It just sets you free enough to be able to look at and comprehend the whole thing. Because that history goes way back before the Galactic Alliance. Long before that, when you were starting to forget many things. So there's more to this waking up than just you waking up your body on Earth. That's just a tiny part of it. And so you know what put you on Earth, this life, how that happened, was not fun. Not for V, not for anybody. Not for me, not for Pari, and not for everybody else on Earth that went through something similar one way or another. All the beings that were 2 billion that were blown up on Maldek, you know where they incarnated next and have been here ever since? Planet Earth. They were militaristic, all three of the races there. Look at planet Earth. Beings from other realities, Asian and Caucasian. They come from all kinds of races throughout the galaxy that have predominantly just that skin color, those eyes, on many world systems. And all thrown in a mix, unconscious. No wonder everybody's arguing about what's true and what isn't. They all have a different growing up perspective of what the Supreme Being is. And they don't agree on anything, except there's some God out there they don't know about that they pray to. Nothing wrong with that. It's just that it keeps them unaware and unconscious of who they are, that they're not a body they're running, and what their grand destiny really is, which is, of course, to be a trustworthy, conscious co-creator with the source behind all life. That's why we exist, as what people on Earth call soul. But it is a real thing. It's a real spherical form. It has shape and structure. And if people don't know that, they're not going to wake up. It's not the human brain, body, and personality of one life on Earth that wakes up at all. It's the Atma running it that wakes up and then enlightens that body on Earth. Makes sense, doesn't it?
May I add this to Quan? Maybe she wants to know, Quan, the point is, will you accept as Atma to know more or not? Because there are more fears beside the primary implant. There are a lot
Sure.
of things that we had done in the
Sure.
past.
Sure.
Would you
You're
like to accept that? You know?
There's people blowing up people right now on this planet. People that cannot be reasoned with. People that will not. They're just nuts. And sometimes bodies need to be removed in order to make way for a planet to work, become transformed. The beings, the Atmas, are not dead when bodies are lost. They're still around, just not on Earth. So if you think about it correctly, the other things you need to uncover and resolve and master, you already have crossed over the threshold to do that. The first blocks are out of the way. Now you can go the rest of the journey with some guidance, some friends from other worlds, and get all the way there. That's what's important. Right, Quan? Are you vulnerable to some negative this or that, or family, or the world, or whatever? Everybody is. The question is, how quickly do you withdraw your energy from focusing on the negative when it crosses your path? Or when you look at it on the internet and get caught up in it until you're bummed out and down. Then you have to shake it off, and then you recover yourself. You're back in serenity of being. And this is for all of us. It's the same way. We're learning how to take back and wake up that which we've forgotten. Not just in 500,000 years from the Galactic Alliance. You don't remember your lives in Andromeda, do you? Not yet, but you were there too. This is the only galaxy you've ever lived in. How do you tell that to a mass of 8 billion people on Earth that are convinced there's some abstract God they worship they're going to when they die, but they don't dare make any change while they're here? It's easier to just believe than to actually become awakened, responsible, trustworthy co-creators with the source behind all life. They don't remember that their purpose is that. It is. Still. This is important to know this because it gives us strength and purpose and focus to decide to pull ourselves out of thinking and visualizing something negative, like fear of the present and future. Boy, that's all over the internet. Fear of the present and future, that's everywhere. How do you see it to know what's going on and not let it into you? Right? That's what you're talking about. Am I correct? By knowing what you know, you can simply send out the hue, pull yourself out of being trapped by what you're being affected by, outside of you. And that puts a shield of energy around you that no negative nature can enter. Instantly. Because you have a connection with the hue now. And it's your guardian, your caretaker, your custodian. It has a vested interest in you becoming a masterful person. Finally, after a couple 100 billion Earth years. It's not going to give up on you like you might give up on yourself. That's not its character. And in down deep, that's not our character either. We're exactly the same as Source. We have to remember this. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. And V, you're next.
One of many pictures that pop up during the journey was something that stay together, but they move in their own free will direction. I don't know, is it energy or Atma or what else? I don't know. It's stay together, but they moving around in their own direction.
Yeah.
It's a dense. Yeah.
But that can't
That's
be
one.
done. Physical bodies can't do that. You as the Atma can be in more than one place at the same moment. Trillian can be in 7 at the same moment. Talking and dealing with people, 7. Silent mentors aren't limited in any way. Some master teachers can be in more places at one time than 7. Think of it this way. You're already in at least 5 simultaneously running bodies in each one as a single spherical Atma from Source. Astral, physical, causal, mental, etheric. All the Atma is running all of those forms in all those planes. So you're really running things in more than one place at one moment, aren't you? More advanced state of that is being the Atma and being in a number of places at once and knowing it. The bodies aren't the issue. It's the Atma. Atmas don't have the limitations of physical bodies. They never have. But if you've been made to forget that, that's the problem. So we're waking that up. So are we done?
Before we stop this recording, I'd just like to confirm with everybody to recover who you are and to remember who you are only by going on the journey like this. Only this way can help you recovering who you are.
That's because I'm not doing it to you. I'm a channel, not a psychic channel. I don't play with negative and positive energies at all. There's no negative nature in this work at all. It comes from off-world to this planet. I'm a humble co-creator with Source. I really am, and I'm quite committed beyond this life to carry out this mission, this purpose. Not just for Earth, but for the whole lower worlds of time and space. The beings we went on the journey with us tonight from Andromeda and the Milky Way galaxy are committed to this same purpose now. And they've got way more technology and awareness than we've ever had here. And much, much, much longer lifespans to do it with than we have currently. Does that make sense?
We have more funds now with 2 galaxies working together, you know.
I think that's the point of this journey that you should all be aware of. Yes, that's true. We're not alone in the universe. That's stupid thinking. That's Earth person growing up here stupid, taught stupid. I mean, it's not anybody's fault. You can't blame anybody on Earth. They're all in the same can of worms. So how can the blind lead the blind? They can't. So it has to come from the greater God outside of Earth to this world. Now that makes sense to anybody in any religion with any belief if they just stop their revenge and anger and hate long enough to just look and see. They all know the same thing. When fear is gone, as it was shut off for you on this journey, you're able to bring back to your life on Earth energy that changes things that you can't get unless you go where we went. Does that make sense? It's not very well charged in Earth's atmosphere yet. So we become, in this process, part of the solution instead of remaining part of the problem with the other 8 billion people on this planet until they become part of the solution. That makes practical sense, right? You're getting a big Turellian from me, I can tell you that, all of you. And I'm getting this from Zetranami and Turellian too, to me. So it's all good. Everybody wins. We'll see you next time. Okay, I'm going to bring this recording to a stop.